12 years ago, Bryn Hughes came onto Breakfast to call for greater recognition for public servants who were killed in the line of duty after his daughter, PC Nicola Hughes, was murdered.
Yesterday, he was at Windsor Castle as King Charles handed out the first ever Elizabeth Emblems, a medal which is the civilian equivalent of the Victoria Cross.
Also accepting the accolade was Jane Houng, whose daughter, Rebecca Dykes, had been working for the government in Lebanon when she was killed.
And we are delighted to say that Bryn and Jane both join us now. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
It has been a long road here, hasn't it, Bryn? Over the years, we have spoken and you have campaigned and asked and campaigned.
Never give up.
What was that like to finally get that medal in your hand?
Yesterday was a relief. Relief it all came together. Not that it was the journey was an end, if you like, but the relief it all came together, and a relief that so many families could be there to celebrate their achievements as well, I suppose.
We need to show your emblem, don't we? Here we
Yes.
go. Bryn's brought his in. We can show it to you here in this beautiful presentation box as well. And I guess this will take pride of place. What will you do with it?
I don't know. I've been asked that, and I'm not too sure. I probably wear the small one at occasions like this when I meet you two or something like that. But yeah, I think it would pride of place in a display case.
Jane, there's something really rather special about the actual words on this. Would you like to tell us what it says? I don't know if you've got that, Bryn, for Jane to show us. It's the actual words, isn't it?
It says, "For a life given in service." And on the back, we have the names of our daughters.
Yeah. Tell us about your daughter.
My daughter, Becky Dykes, she was 30 years old. She was a humanitarian worker working in the British Embassy in Lebanon. And after a long day at work, she went home and she was raped and strangled on the way. So this recognition of her life in service, it means the world to me. And it galvanizes me to do more in her name to raise awareness about gender-based violence.
And I've seen that you're wearing your emblems.
Oh, well,
you're wearing both of them.
I can't get enough of these.
Good.
Yeah. So proud of me. What does it feel like to wear them?
Oh. Well, I hope people can see it because my jacket's the kind of same colour.
You can see it.
No, it was an absolute honour to meet His Majesty. I mean, he does a lot for humanitarian causes, right? He shows great leadership. So, I like to think that what I'm trying to do. Can I show you?
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Becky's button.
Just explain this, because this is really important part of your own personal campaign. It's one of the reasons why you've come to public royal attention.
Well, I like to try to turn darkness to light, right? I believe this would have saved my daughter's life. I believe if many more women wore them, not particularly Becky's button, because you can get tens of these on the market, but this Becky's button is very simple. You depress it and it emits 125 decibel sound. And it will ring for an hour and a half unless you depress it for 2 seconds and then it goes off. But this gives women a few vital seconds to run. Why? Because usually a man would be very shocked and surprised. It's close up, oh, what's happening? So she could run and ideally report. So that's the idea. And I donate this to the kind of women who cannot afford to go on Amazon and buy one, and the kind of women that are living in very vulnerable areas and in very dangerous places. That's what I'm doing.
And when you give out one of those,
yes.
What's the reaction of the people that you give it to?
Well, the word adulation sprang to my mind, but that sounds a bit religious. They're just extremely grateful. And within 1 month of distributing a number of these, I've distributed 7,000 in total in 4 countries.
Wow.
Greece, where the pilot scheme was, Lebanon, which is where Becky was killed, Jordan and Pakistan. But when we distributed the pilot scheme in Greece, within 1 month, we are sure that it averted a potential gang rape. There was a refugee woman, and it was dark. She was walking to the toilet, and 4 men suddenly appeared out of the bushes. And she pressed this, and they all live in tents, so it was very visible, and people heard it. And the security came running. What's that? What's that?
Wow.
True story.
Wow. Bryn, I don't know whether you two had met before this week, but I guess yesterday's presentation ceremony at Windsor Castle, it brought all of you together, families who have one terrible thing in common, different cases. But what does that bond mean to all of you now?
I mean, that's the biggest thing I took away from that yesterday, but the amount of families that approached me and I mean, I'm not just saying because it was me, but they thanked me for campaigning, for recognition for their loved ones that they had lost over the years. I mean, there were some people going back to 1964 who'd lost parents, and they said they'd never thought they'd see this day where there was actually awarded something so significant for the loss of their mums or dads, and that was overwhelming for me.
And I know one of the things you were particularly pleased about was it was the King. Yes,
and I mean as well. Obviously, you understand with royal warrants, which is what this is. They're usually presented in the reigning monarch's name, where the King insisted it is retained in his late mother's name, and that alone was significant as well.
What did he say to you when he presented it?
He thanked me for the campaign, and he said, it's been wonderful what you've done, and thank you for your tenacity. And then we had a conversation with my son as well, and it was nice. It was really nice because it was so relaxed and so informal, but on such an auspicious occasion.
I bet you were pinching yourself, weren't you, after more than a decade of campaigning for that moment finally to be there?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long journey. I mean, I sat here with the guys from the Police Federation. They sat with me all the way, and we've campaigned, and we always said at the beginning, we're never going to give up. Don't say it can't happen. Tell us when it can happen.
Bryn and Jane, it is lovely to see you here with those medals. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.